You ever notice how the people with real power, not fame, not clout, but actual influence, always seem to be just out of reach? They're not blowing up your feed, they're not showing up to every event, they vanish, and when they return, everything shifts. This isn't luck, it's not coincidence, it's strategy. And if you're always showing up, always responding, always accessible, you're giving your power away. Let's talk about how to take it back. Because what I'm about to reveal might just change how you show up in the world, or better yet, how you don't. We live in the era of hyper-visibility, where everyone is expected to be online, reachable, on call, and active, 24/7. The world praises presence, but quietly, it obeys mystery. And while most people are screaming for attention, powerful people are doing something else. They're disappearing on purpose. But listen closely, because this next part matters. There's a difference between isolation and intentional absence. Isolation is when you retreat out of fear. You vanish because you feel powerless, unwanted, or overwhelmed. Strategic absence is different. It's when you step back, not because you're hiding, but because you know your value. You withhold your presence the way a skilled artist withholds a final brushstroke. Not to leave things unfinished, but to leave people craving more. You don't isolate because you're lost. You disappear because you've become undeniable. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a ruler must appear to be all virtue while hiding his intentions. He understood that the person who controls their appearance controls the narrative, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, digitally. You don't owe everyone a version of you on display. And when you stop showing up by default, people stop seeing you as default. Think about it. Why do celebrities who go silent after a legendary performance become icons? Why do CEOs who rarely give interviews seem more authoritative? Why do the people you can't predict become the ones you can't ignore? Because presence alone doesn't equal power. Controlled presence does. It's not about never showing up. It's about showing up strategically, when it matters, when it shifts the energy in the room, when silence has said enough, and your words now carry weight. Let's ground this in real life. Ever had that friend who's always available, always saying yes? At first it feels comforting, but over time, you stop noticing their effort. You take them for granted. You expect their presence. Now think of someone who only appears at key moments. Their time feels precious. Their attention feels earned. When they speak, people lean in. Why? Because scarcity builds respect. It's the same in leadership. The boss who micromanages loses respect, but the leader who gives space, then steps in with precision, earns it. Even animals know this. The alpha doesn't growl all day. He doesn't patrol the pack constantly. He's silent, still, but the moment he moves, the dynamic shifts. His presence is a pattern break. In human terms, that's the art of tension. See, mystery isn't manipulation, it's magnetism. And magnetism is built not by how loud you are, but by how rarely you let the world hear your roar. Modern science backs this up. The scarcity principle, coined by psychologist Robert Cialdini, reveals that people value what is rare. And it's not just about money or status, it's about you, your attention, your time, your presence. When something becomes too common, its value drops. That's not harsh, it's human psychology. The brain tunes out what it sees too often, but the unpredictable, that sparks obsession. So if you're always texting first, always available to talk, always saying yes, you become less of a decision and more of a convenience. But if you pause, if you retreat, suddenly your presence becomes a choice, not an expectation, and that changes everything. Look, this isn't about becoming cold or selfish. This is about self-worth. It's about understanding that you don't need to perform to be respected. Sometimes the most powerful move is to stop trying, to let them feel your absence, and realize what they lost when you were easy to reach. So how do you apply this? Here's the play. Start by reclaiming your time. Don't be afraid to say no, even to good things. Let people wait, let texts sit, let calls go to voicemail. Stop over-explaining your boundaries. Let them speak for themselves. Step back, not to disappear, but to sharpen your presence. Because here's the truth, power doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it arrives. And when you finally do, speak slow, move calm, let your presence feel earned. In a world addicted to noise, the rarest thing is silence. And silence, that's where power lives. This is the psychology code. If this resonated, drop a like, share it, and subscribe, because we're not here for shallow takes. We're here to shift the way you move. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is disappear, intentionally.